a couple of rougher times, actually losing to this team before. And we're starting it out on Derailed.
Yeah, Sector 1 have been a bit inconsistent, but I think that's kind of to expect, of course, considering they were a team that ended up coming very, very last minute. I think they only found out that they were actually coming to the event the day before and arrived at 7 a.m. yesterday, something like that.
Something like that, and they'd had 2 hours sleep, I believe, in the last 2 days when they got here and immediately launched into playing all of these games. Combined with the delays that we had, that's not an easy situation to work with.
Not at all. As they were checking into the hotel, I remember someone saying that they were leaving to come here to the event to get everything ready just as the players were checking in. So, of course, had yesterday, hopefully got themselves a good rest now last night, and we will be able to see what they're actually capable of. The only issue is up against Endpoint. It's a tough team to face off against, but Rebirth picking up an opening headshot. Its Reflexer goes down early on, so that's not a bad beginning. You can see right now setting themselves up for what looks like it will eventually be a split towards this B-bomb site. 2 players towards Cinema, 2 players holding outside of B, and Fake right now looking to get aggressive. I think realizes that's probably not a great idea.
With Fake holding towards Upper Cinema, this is something that we've seen from him be successful time after time. Shots raining out, but Rebirth isn't going to be taken down just yet as Fake aggresses forward. They're trying to bait him as there's a player lying down up close. That's Dins. Not being offered up a kill, though. They eventually decide to back off and wait for a bit of aggression. They've got control coming in through Broken House, and Upper Cinema's all that what really have going for them right now. Din's being spotted out. Jump peek comes through, and no bullets left. How does Dins make it out of there alive? And again, this is lots of control for Sector 1 as they've just gotten the bomb planted. Combine that with the fact that obviously it's Rebirth picking up that frag. Endpoint needs some huge plays to come through on this retake.
Ooh, nice shot by Fake. Gives them a little bit of hope at the very least. Cinda's still in a decent position as well. Let's see what they're going to be able to get done at this point. Blues watching for the flank that could be coming in right now. J connecting a couple of bullets as well. And, of course, the time just beginning to run down. Robert taking himself one. Whose P Diz is that, Mark?
I mean, we can only... Oh, yeah, P Diz. So P Dizzle was the name that he would play under sometimes. Now P Diz, just doing it.
I should have checked if any of the names were different. That's something you always need to do when Mark is in the game. Because the second I saw it in the kill feed, I was like, what? Who?
No, it's yeah, that's the thing. You can instantly assume it's Mark. You also know because he's, of course, got the Peng Dog picture you can see there in the top right.
I actually did not know.
Want to take note that Dark's a noob, and he's left the best of 3 score at 1-1. It is currently the first map, so don't worry. It's not the decider just yet. We're on Derailed, then we move on to Liberation, and then Vanguard, if I remember correctly.
I believe so.
Didn't actually get the info on who picked what, but I'm going to go ahead and say Sector 1 picked Derailed, and Liberation was Endpoint's choice. That's entirely because they played before, and it was on Liberation, 13-6. Endpoint won that game after a 3-0 lead started out for Sector. This is probably going to be Sector's best chance at bringing it to a third map. Certainly based on what we saw last time, but then again, they were playing with 2 hours sleep over 2 days, so there's lots of question marks there on whether that's a legitimate representation of their mix. And they're a mix now. They've had a little bit more warm-up time with their 6-7 games yesterday.
Yeah, they played a few games, and you can kind of get an idea about what way you actually want to approach it. So hopefully that warm-up has worked out for them. This round currently not up against the greatest of weaponry, rather. It's a few Gevers in the hands of Endpoint, a couple of those default SMGs, and then just the 1 nade at this point that Cinda has. But there's only 45 seconds remaining, so as they do again look to take it over towards B, there will be a couple players to maybe try and defend this one down. Reflexer actually does find themselves that opening kill and manages to back away. I wouldn't imagine they can actually stop the bomb plant, but give themselves a man advantage. Not too bad. That was very awkward as we seen Blue is pushing forward. Kind of surprised they even managed to find one out of that. And as things kind of calm down a small bit, I was going to say it is Endpoint with a 2-man advantage. One gets pulled back, though, so it's still a position here for Sector 1 that they can fight back into. But the bomb.
Yeah, it's dropped out there. Not going to be easy to re-obtain it. Smoke going down. Reflexer isn't going to be able to do a whole lot about stopping this bomb plant going down. Costa, oh, no, he runs out. Reflexer gets dropped because of it. Now at 2v2 in post plants. They know where Dins is, and they know where the bomb got planted from, but look what Dins has spotted. A beautiful barrel. I mean, he's shot off the wall, but he gets away his position. Bit of a distraction. Doesn't quite work out. Dins is low, though. Free peek might come through over towards the Broken House. But you can already see Sector 1 are backing off. They want to play the time. 33 seconds on the clock as Endpoint edge forward. Fake being flanked out on as well. Coster wants to get up behind. He is a devil for this. Always catches players off guard with his flanks. As Fake taps it, he's not aware that Koster's up behind him. He's going to get dropped eventually. And then the bomb gets shot, because of course Koster didn't know if there was still someone sticking it. The reactions were there. And Replan shouldn't get a whole lot done. 12 seconds, 2 kills to find. Sees Koster, doesn't find the frag. And at this point, it's all about doing damage. Picks up a smoke, picks up a carbine as well. And he's just keeping them around that bomb, seeing if he can catch a kill maybe in Upper Cinema. And to save these weapons over to the next round is the best possible outcome because he's got a smoke as well. Lots of tokens.
Yeah, really good recovery in that round, though, being able to pull it back from the 2 versus 4. Din's able to pick up the double, of course. Coming into this one now, Endpoint, they will get a much stronger buy. They're one of the few teams that, as we have said, are willing to take a bit of an eco. They'll maybe just buy up the Gavers, buy up a couple smokes, give themselves a chance, maybe take a bit of a gamble. Then we see them going for the more aggressive plays when they have those weaker weapons. And it's always nice to see because then they can come into these earlier rounds with a pretty decent buy overall. The nades, I was going to say, not doing much early on, but they do actually end up connecting one. It's Mark who takes down Robert, Replin them with a headshot towards Blues as well. And this round, pretty quickly, already the action has kicked off. It ends up in a 4-on-3. Replan towards Upper Cinema, though. A pretty common position you can see for the moment. Din's not really looking to get too aggressive in this spot, waiting to see if anyone's gonna show themselves. He's hoping that some mistakes will be made, knowing that at the moment, with this man disadvantage, they do need to be very cautious. They can't really continue to take these solo plays. Ideally, they need to actually work off of each other. And right now, they're very split up, not really in spots to help each other. You can see the bomb out on its own around mid. There's a player pushed up, I believe, past tank, so maybe he can try and actually creep in behind.
Of course, it's Kostya. You don't have to really question when you see one of these guys, and Kostya's alive in this kind of position. He's always going to be the one looking for the flank. With Dins and Rebirth having a bit of utility as well, 2 smokes and a frag grenade to work with, they can get some good progress over towards the site, maybe even get that bomb planted. Din's taking a nade in through upper. Shouldn't be able to do a whole lot in terms of helping the bomb get planted, actually. Replan lucky to get out of there alive. Cover was there from his teammate. Dins eventually pops the smoke down to help on the cross. That should allow a bomb plant to go through, but Kostya's been found on the flank. And so even with the bomb plant right now, it's not going to be a very favorable situation. You can see double flanks coming through. Cinda and P. Dizzle. Young Mark. Oh, no, actually triple. I didn't even see it. It was obscured reflexors with them coming up behind as Replan's making a lot of noise in towards the spawn. Rebirth tries to get aggressive on him with Dins holding upper, but as Dins peeks out towards the broken house, there's going to be 2 players waiting to greet him.
Yeah, this is going to be quite difficult right now for Dins. Has 1 kill to his name, has the bar, of course, so can pick up those quick headshots. The nade just about manages to survive it, so they may actually think that he's not up in that exact position, at least that he may have potentially moved around towards lower Cinema. They do at least need to be cautious, but the issue is Cinda now going to actually be flanking in from behind, and as you can see, Din's not really having any idea about that fact, does end up getting flanked out and taken down. So Endpoint, they will be able to pick up their opening round for themselves here. Defuse coming in, keeping 3 players alive, a couple of weapons as well being retrieved. So they should have a pretty decent buy coming in, but having a look at the tokens rather for Sector 1, not amazing. They're going to at least get the scope out, but that likely means that they will have to sacrifice on a lot of the nades.
Yeah, indeed. The previous round didn't play out too well for the post-plan at Sector 1 because obviously Dins, as soon as he gets tagged by that nade, they have info on where he is. And then there's only 1 player. You're clearing out a lot of it. You're seeing there's no one over towards the bottom of Cinema. You know there's one upper. So then it starts to become kind of obvious that maybe Rebirth is lurking around, trying to get that little bit more aggressive. For Endpoint at the moment, picking up their first round, like you said, has left Sector 1 in a position where they don't have a whole lot of utility to play with. 2 smokes left 30 seconds into the round. So it's all about winning these fights. And they know Fake's been playing in upper Cinema quite consistently. MP40 in hand, finds 1, but the trade's there from Rebirth. That opens it up for Sector 1. They've got upper control. Can now start to move forward onto B. 2 players still remain. Up close is Blues, tucked in the close right corner. Or not Blues, sorry, it's Reflexor. What am I talking about? Blues is on the other side, looking to take him down. It'll be an SMG battle, but of course Reflexor's got a little bit of help. Replan's there to swing out and assist. We saw him playing this position so many times whenever Endpoint have been on Derailed. Oh, he's been spotted this time, though, and eliminated, leaving it into a 3 versus 3. Endpoint now tucked down. They have a little bit of a rotate already, though. Cinda's come around to help with P. Dizzle. Young Mark still playing very, very passive on A. He's got a nade to work with, so as he makes his way back over towards Statue, he can potentially lob in a nade to stop him getting that bomb planted.
Yeah, all of the Sector 1 players now actually grouping up, though. Kostya initially trying to lurk around mid, making his way back over. Reflexor has spotted out a bit in towards the Cinema. As you said, though, had a teammate nearby being Cinda, but Kostya is still able to get that flank in somehow. Makes his way in behind on Dark and gets himself 1. Reflexor still alive in this corner. He has just been trying to delay as much as he possibly could. Unfortunately, though, does go down. And alongside that, the bomb also getting planted, so it leaves it all onto Mark now. He has the sleeves off. But is that going to give him enough skill to pull off this 1 versus 2? He has the time at the very least. He is just going to be trying to creep around and see if he can find someone around the dark, and he may be able to do so indeed. As you can see, as he comes out, it's going to be Rebirth that's up close. The only thing is he is being cautious, and the gun model as he looks up ends up obstructing the view just a little bit. An easy kill for Rebirth comes in, and that's 3-1. So Sector 1 instantly returning with a round of their own. Looking a lot better today, at least in the beginning of this game. This is the start that you need to see them have if they want to be able to take down a team like Endpoint.
Rebirth trading towards the start of that round up in Cinema opened up a lot of room for them. You could see when those two smokes were thrown down on the site, it left Reflexer trapped in a corner. He couldn't do a whole lot, didn't want to peek out as they'd lost upper Cinema control. If Fake is still up there, he can peek out, he can stop Kostya from getting all the way through and flanking around. But now he's a little bit more conscious. With an MP40, you don't want to be taking those long-range fights. He doesn't want to get caught from upper Cinema. Fake actually adjusting his strategy after being caught off guard in the previous round, double peaked on the MP40. So it was all Kostya's round though previously. He was the pivotal player, good smoke usage, but upper Cinema control was where things fell apart for Endpoint. Now they look to change it. Heat Dizzle's tucked in here. Fake's going to be taking initial contact. Now maybe Mark can catch them off guard, but not quite. Eventually finding the kill. He's going to be pushed on. Rebirth lit down enough that he doesn't want to continue to aggress. And Endpoint, considering the weapons they came into this with, I mean, they've got themselves a kill. They almost eliminated Rebirth. It's been okay for them. But ideally, you want to see one or two more frags. And there's Replan with one. Yeah,
just catching one. They were playing this round pretty passively, rather knowing that they didn't have the greatest of weapons. They weren't trying to take the open and duels, just kind of hiding, hoping someone would show themselves, and at best probably get the one-for-one trades. Couple kills, though, not too bad. As you said, overall, they can be pretty happy with that coming in now. Having not invested much in the previous round, they are able to pull out pretty much everything they'll want. Replan, most importantly, going to be coming out with the Kar 98. They have some nades as well. Smokes are going to be available. Let's see how it looks overall. And yeah, there we have it. Pretty strong. A few MP40s rather than one SDG. And then, as we said before, Replan on that Kar 98. He can be a man that just has so much impact for this Endpoint side, especially in opening up rounds. Those nades not going to be doing much there towards middle. Oh, he's taken down already. Over towards the Cinema, I believe, trying to get aggressive. Fortunately, Reflexer does trade and gets the second. It was actually Fake who came in instead, taking down Rebirth. That should be Cinema clear at this point. And they do realize that.
Late focus is out towards A, but it's been spotted at this point. Kostya sitting around, waiting for the bomb to rotate over. Now Robert's shot off on the sniper, so they have a rough idea on where most players are.
I think he spotted Cinda, though, did he? Was that what he was shooting at?
He might have seen him go through. I don't know if he'll suspect that he took behind the stairs, though. It's a very hard angle to clear out. Oh, well, he definitely will. Now, still, no, Blues falls to Cinda, leaving Robert all alone. He's hoping someone else is going to come around to give him an angle, give him a shot. Cinda offers up an opportunity, but no shot to be found. And with that, Robert, 40 seconds on the clock. I mean, going back to save isn't really going to be worth it either. He's got to try to find a frag. Pistol out. He's about to be flanked as well. Fake finds it. Now, luckily, the thing about peeking with the pistol there, you're thinking, but he won't find the kill. He doesn't give a sniper over to the enemy team, and that's the most important part about it.
Yeah, that is a pretty big positive, because they also know that they took that Kar 98 out of play, rather. Struggling with English a little bit, Mitch. It was picked up by Reflexer, to be fair, so he is going to have it in play. Replan able to actually buy another one up as well, so they have two to work with now. Been able to take that previous round, of course, but this time they need to be able to try and actually chain a couple together off the back of it. They can't allow for Sector 1 to keep building up these rounds so early on. Oh, the second nade actually coming in to finish off Kostya. The nade that took down Rebirth had done some damage onto Kostya as well. And the second one just about clips him. And with that, a two-man advantage already here for Endpoint. Robert as well, almost going down to the Kar 98. Fortunately, does manage to survive for now. But of course, still a 3v5. This is going to be very difficult for them to recover from, and it's just getting worse and worse at this point.
Once Replan pulls out that Kar 98K, he's deadly. The nades early on obviously picking off two, but now he's up around the tank. He had been playing top stairs, which is where Blues is being conscious of, trying to shoulder peek it and bait out the shot. He does so and realizes where Replan is. One shot tanked by Rep, and he finds the third. Essentially an ace, because those nades early on, he got the assist on both nade kills, netting him a really, really nice round overall.
Indeed. Redeeming himself a little bit, kind of getting his confidence back. I'm sure he was a little bit upset after buying up the car in the round before and then immediately going down. That is more what you would have been looking for. Able to keep himself 5 tokens in the wallet as well, which is good. Of course, you want to build up that money a little bit, especially if you're going to be aiming to pull out that Kar 98 so often, because it is quite expensive. Having a look at the buy right now though for Sector 1. Finally, they've been put down into a position where they don't have the greatest of buys to work with. A bit of utility with a few smokes rather. Weaponry-wise though, carbines, bar, it's not looking great, and Kosjay already goes down as he was trying to lurk up second mid. And a nade from Cinda as well takes out Blues. Not a lot of success really being found anywhere on the map right now for Sector 1.
Cinda, the player that just told me before this game started that I can quote him, I can put him on the record as saying this game is going to be easy Katka. So we will see if that's going to carry on through. Obviously, finding the nade in this round has helped out his team, but they've still to close it as Sector 1 close in the distance towards the B site. Repland, Kar98k in hand, playing up in top Cinema, finds himself a kill. And this Kar98 has been such a menace, whether it's top stairs, Cinema, or indeed at the back of that box, peeking around the train. Now they know where he is, though, and spotting out a second player towards the market of the doors, the B doors, could cause a couple of problems. Repline drops down. He's also got support tucked in the corner. That's kind of what I was leaning towards. As they pushed out, they'd be shot in the back. They wouldn't check their close corner, but that might not matter at all. Fake doesn't seem to be getting any opportunity to fight this. Oh, maybe he will. Oh, Robert, no, he's missed the shots. Baited into the shot, line of sight. There we go. Of Reflexer taken down with the Kar98k. And again, the Cars rule the B side. I would like to see Sector start to focus a little bit more towards A because they are being outplayed when they move to B.
All we've really seen from them towards A was when they had Kosjay lurking kind of around that area a little bit, and then, of course, the one round where they tried to go over and then just kind of got completely shut down by that flank from Cinda. So it's been a little bit awkward. I definitely think that if they were to continue showing their kind of normal B aggression early on, get that cinema control, and then give themselves the option of going back over towards A, I think that would probably be the best way to do it. But they need to be careful because they're losing players so early on that they aren't able to cover all parts on the map. And then the issue is, of course, Endpoint are able to get aggressive and get into these positions that aren't expected.
For Sector 1, you can kind of see where the issues are coming through with the fact that they are a mix and they haven't had any practice together, bar yesterday. They're having a lot of issues when it comes to, I suppose, the leadership, to actually executing things in a more timely manner. They're giving a lot of space to Endpoint, a lot of time for the reactions to come in. You can see now Endpoint, based on a couple of nades that they used a few rounds ago, have delayed Sector 1's push, early on towards B. By lobbing those late nades where we saw the 3K early on coming in, or the 2K with them, it's made them more conscious. When they see two nades coming up mid, they wait a little bit for that third one, the Hail Mary, to come through.
Yeah, that's what it is. They might work early on for the kills, but from that point forward, it's a little bit more about just keeping the map control for yourself, slowing them down. Yeah, it is something that kind of builds up. You put it in the back of their mind. Mark, though, picking himself up a kill on the Blues, pretty easy. Rebirth then ends up going down to Fake with that a 5-on-2 already. There's a minute still remaining, so maybe they can get something done if they work together, perhaps even get a bomb plant out of it, but it's not looking too likely at this point. They are also split up, not in positions to work off of each other. Din's trying to creep in towards B. I don't know if he's going to expect Reflexer to be up close on this Kar98, and indeed, trying to just crouch out. Not making any noise was his goal, to hopefully catch someone off guard, but he does fall, as does Robert. With that now 5-4, a convincing round here from Endpoint as well. I think kind of warming up a little bit. We know that they do have those slow starts sometimes, but as you've said, they just have so much experience. They're all so calm that they don't care. They know they can get right back into it.
And that is one big pistol. What the size of that thing? For Endpoint, those Kar98Ks are doing such strong, such heavy work. Such good work. Look at the nades. Look at the nades disappear early on. They're coming up the middle. There's a couple. They hope they'll bait them out into running. Yeah, because they think after the first two, they'll jump across. Timing was maybe a little bit.
They were all at the same time, though,
yeah. It was maybe a quarter of a second between each one. Dropping down. Pete Dissel doesn't win that one. That's going to be a bit of a table thump. Sector 1 find themselves a man advantage now early on, and they've shown presence towards A with two still having cinema control. This is a lot to work with now. They need to be cautious of someone maybe getting aggressive towards middle or pushing up on B. You see, Fake was toying with the idea. And at this point, everybody's got a secondary. So, like Fake on a Thompson, you're not going to say, oh, he can't take range duels, because he's also got that bar in his back pocket. And that's the same for everybody, with the exception of Cinda. He's just going to be dual-wielding SMGs.
Yeah, that is what he likes the Rock, to be fair. Right now, a split in towards the A-bomb site. Finally, they will be kind of switching things up a little bit. There is still a player in that back room. I think they do, of course, at this point, realize that.
No, they haven't checked.
No, they haven't. I thought that's what they were shooting at. I wasn't sure because we didn't actually see it on our screen.
No, they walked right past it, and I think at this point, because you haven't been hitting A lot, you're not going to expect someone to be tucked in that room. You can see they're now on the site. They're not clearing it out at all. Eventually, Cinda makes a little bit of noise, and now they're looking back towards him. Costume and Dins both find kills. That nade is going to be hard to avoid. He finds a kill and only takes a minuscule amount of damage from it. That's going to be frustrating right now, but Synda's last alive, so they can at least eliminate him afterwards. Survive with 3 players. Sector 1 finding another round, equalizing up 5-5. Doesn't look to be as easy Katka as Synda had predicted.
Not as easy. To be fair, Sector 1 did get off to a decent enough start. They were up like 4-1 at one point, if I remember. I think they took the first 2 rounds, then lost 1, then took 2 more. So Endpoint since then have been getting a pretty good recovery, but 5 rounds on the Allied side already. If they can pick up even 1 more, then Sector 1 are going to be looking pretty solid. It's more the second map I think we have to worry a little bit about, considering, of course, in the group stage when the 2 teams played on Liberation, wasn't it? They, as you said, went down 13-6 rather. So it will be a little bit worrying. Can they keep up the performance here, though, on that Sector 1 side is the question. An opening kill from Rebirth, not a bad find. Reflexer attempted to get aggressive over towards B and pick up an opening kill on the car, but not able to connect the shot at this point, just forced to play a little bit more passively. Synda pushed up through connector. Has been playing around this position a fair amount, though, so I don't think that it's going to catch Sector 1 off guard. You can see Kajay is being careful. Oh, the timing, though, is very unfortunate.
Yeah, luckily there's a second player there to spot it out. Blues puts a couple of bullets into the back of Synda, and is actually starting to move over here to try and focus on him. He's got support. Synda's being surrounded and taken down immediately by Blues when he faces over towards B. Locking it down is Raplan on a Car 98K. He'll get a chance in just a second as Rebirth comes around. The rest of the team focusing more on that A side. Has Rebirth got nades with him? Yeah, he's got a smoke to play with. I mean, if he just smokes off doors, they might be able to drag rotations on the back of it. Raplan making noise now. This is Rebirth's opportunity to pounce. He can catch him on the rotate over, sees him, but hasn't shot just yet. P-Dizzle finds himself a kill. And with that, Endpointer thinking that they've got this pretty solidly. Oh, Raplan's shot in the back. Rebirth doesn't get his chance to pounce. P-Dizzle has to come out with a huge play, and it's not there. Reflexer's all gone. At the time on the clock, the fact that all of Sector 1 are here, he shouldn't find much. And running in, he's being shot from 3 different angles. Not much he could really do.
Yeah, Sector 1 are looking good. They've switched it over to this A-bomb site a little bit more consistently now. And it is going well indeed. You can see coming into the final round now at half, the money, it's not great. It is likely going to be just the SMGs, a couple of SDGs then coming out as well. Unfortunately, no Car 98s, and they have been so crucial so far for Endpoint in terms of picking up the opening kills and just holding the bomb sites in general. It's been Raplan mostly, and then Reflexer has had his moments as well. Well, let's see. I mean, they can get this one done. One thing, though, we aren't seeing Endpoint really going for as much coordinated aggression as you normally would, where they actually push forward together. Instead, it's been kind of Synda trying to get aggressive down second mid. You have then Reflexer and Raplan have attempted to get their opening picks towards B, but they're never really in spots to work off of each other too well.
There was a nice bait there from P-Dizzle. Mark was running along, taking some shots at the double doors, tried to bait them into the player in middle with the STG to help out. Oh, he's come up behind Kostya and taken him out. Kostya's usually, and this is it, right? I couldn't even get the words out in time. Kostya's usually the furthest out player, so you don't expect Blues to be coming up behind there. Blues catches him off guard. A man disadvantage to play with for Endpoint. The A site lost, or at least it was for a second. Raplan makes it in, but as he comes around Blues, I think it just spotted him going behind the pillar and finds the kill afterwards. Reflexer's floating in midair, eventually makes it up over the little bench that was there, but Blues again closing it down with a 3rd kill for the round. Leaves Synda all alone, knifing the air.
Bit of frustration.
And he won't be finding much either. Rebirth lands himself the final kill, and it's 7-5, a fantastic half.
Easy Katka?
For Sector 1. Easy Katka, yeah. Eating his own words as well as those bullets in the end.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can see Synda was definitely a little bit frustrated there. He thrown in that knife of frustration that all of his teammates had just dropped within the space of a few seconds. But Endpoint, over on the Allied side now, we know that they're very, very capable on the offense. That's where a lot of time they do look better, even on the maps where you would say it's Axis-sided. So that's the question. Are they going to be able to put up a good performance here now? As you said, though, this is likely the map choice to Sector 1, so it's not the end of the world if they do end up letting this one drop.
No, it isn't. And, I mean, Derailed has never been a map that maybe particularly favored Endpoint in my memory. Never one that they were picking a lot. For Reflexer opening it up on the Blues, it puts it into a man advantage now for Endpoint to play with. They're grouped up massively around B. Dins up above on the top of the stairs, tries to help out, not hitting his shots, eventually lands a kill, but is it going to be enough? Well, it looks like it. Rebirth found a double in the meantime as P-Dizzle trades it all the way backward to 2 versus 2. It is hard to keep track of what is going on, but I'll tell you for sure, the bomb's about to be planted. No one's nearby to stop it, and Raplan's the key player. Watching on the flank, he spots out one. They know Kostya's coming up behind. No info on where Robert is, though. So still a little bit iffy about whether they want to plant this bomb or not. They've got to clear out Lightroom. Checking up behind. Kostya again spotted, but Robert isn't showing his hand just yet. So they're constantly worried about that second player, trying to force the fight at the moment. You can see they're moving together, possibly going to the A site, but most importantly moving as a two-man so that they can trade if they need to and bring it into a 1v1.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to bring an intro to spawn towards A. They could still go back towards B if they wanted. The issue is right now that Robert, he does have a bit of an idea, a bit of an inkling that this could be the case right now. So he's already rotated back around towards A. Playing outside of these steps right now. As soon as they try and plant the bomb, he'll be able to pop up, at least get a bit of damage in, try and delay. But let's see what's going to happen. 20 seconds remaining. If he can actually drop that bomb planter and then just delay time a little bit more, it's likely going to be the round win. Holding up close on the steps, though. Didn't actually manage to spot the player up close initially. Eventually, Replan goes down as he takes the peek around the corner. The bomb getting tapped, but there's no time anymore. Nothing that Mark can do. He tries to push in to at least get the kill, but even that doesn't work out. A great recovery from Sector 1 in that round after Endpoint done a great job at getting the B bomb site, but just weren't able to finish it.
So well read by Robert there. Even on the rotate to A in the first place, he realizes, you know, they're not planting the bomb, they're not even tapping it. They're either going to be clearing out Cinema, clearing out Spawn where they didn't get control, or they're rotating A. And he makes the gamble and certainly pays off with Sector 1 now looking good into half number 2 with a 3-round lead. For Endpoint investing themselves into 2 nades, Reflexer and P-Dizzle having those frags, with Replan dropping the smoke in the cross to start us off and give access towards B. P-Dizzle getting that opening on Rebirth. That's not a nice look for the B defenders. We're probably going to see Endpoint just swarm out, waiting for their teammates to get in position and then blitzing on through.
Blues playing on the box down there, similar to a position that we've seen from Replan in the past, so they definitely will be checking it out. The issue is Reflexer actually falls to his death, unfortunately. They drop the bomb. It's going to be retrieved pretty easily. But that is the only casualty for Endpoint in this round, so that's not going to be too much of an issue. It is just Kozj left now, rather, in a 1 versus 4. May be able to catch this player up close. Indeed, he does on towards Fake, but there's already someone pushed in around through Spawn, so he's getting flanked out at this point as well. And, of course, the fact that there's a player in Heaven and then also one, I believe that is over towards the Broken Wall. So, yeah, would have been very difficult for him really to do anything in that situation. Does get taken down. 6-day Endpoint going to be able to get themselves another round, but they're still behind by 2, and they are on the Allied side, so it's going to be a tough one. They need to start getting some convincing rounds, I would say, in their favor, or rather keeping up these convincing rounds. And looking at the scoreboard, everyone right now is fragging quite close. I mean, Robert is down there as the least frags on the server, and even then he's had a couple of rounds, of course, with a lot of impact.
Yeah, that's exactly it. For Sector 1 at the moment, you've got a fairly well-rounded performance when it came to a lot of these rounds as well. They're not winning them out when it comes down to huge clutch plays a lot of the time. And that's what we like to see. The fact that they haven't got that much practice behind them. I didn't catch where Rebirth found that kill, but with Mark going down early on, the trade's there onto Dins. And with Endpoint finding that, it's going to favor them, spreading the defense a little bit more thinly as Blues backs off after spotting a little bit of aggression coming through inside of B. Lots of frags in the favor of Endpoint. Nade from Fake, Reflector on the Rebirth. It's left them in a 3 versus 2. Man advantage to play with. Blues hasn't got a lot of control to really work on. He's trying to get into upper cinema and makes it. Now's the position he can kind of tuck in and hope Robert can help him, but the smoke down means he can't deny that bomb. Robert's starting to get aggressive. See if he can catch an angle. Oh, he even gets the bomb planter, but not in time. The bomb's being planted a fraction of a second to find it. But with that bomb plant, it means now Sector 1 have to play much more aggressive. Time is not on their side anymore. Robert looking for it, and he lands it. What was that you said, Dean? He hasn't had a lot of individual impact when it came down to the fights. I mean, we said he's been winning the rounds when he needs to, and
I said he's had a lot of impact because when he's got the kills, it's been so important, and that's exactly what happens right there. But everyone was so focused on Cinema right there. There's the one player planting on the other side of the car. I mean, at that point, you may as well plant on the opposite side so that you're not open to the place that isn't smoked. And then you had the player at Broken Wall looking up towards the smoke, the other player looking in Cinema. There's no one watching for the player coming in through Spawn, which is quite likely that he's going to rotate in from A. I mean, either he comes in around through B, or else he comes in from Dark or the doors, and no one was watching any of those things.
Yeah, it's an issue for sure. Given Sector 1 that round could be the tip in the balance, really. Mark gets lit up so heavily on the cross by shots and a nade, as well as Fake. But just about managing to make it over without losing anybody. They've got access towards B with upper cinema control going their way. For now, though, Sector 1 haven't been as contingent on holding that upper cinema angle as Endpoint have on their defensive side. Sector 1 prefer instead to take it nice and slow, play on the bomb side itself. And at the moment, I think we've had one nade from Mark successfully push them out of there, but the nades haven't really been a huge issue on B for them. What is an issue is losing their player Blues directly after the frag on the Fake. That trade puts Endpoint in the forefront on this aggression. But Dins hasn't been spotted playing at the bottom of the stairs. Eventually, he shoots off little bit too early, not finding a kill with it, and they should be able to... look at this. With the smokes down, Dins has no support. He has to win these duels, and it's not going to be easy. He's going to be pushed on by multiple angles.
Yeah, unfortunately ends up trying to take that shot at the player in heaven and goes down. Reflexer this time is able to drop down without getting sent to the grave. Did have enough health to survive the drop off of Cinema. 3-on-3 though. The bomb is still yet to go down, of course. Rebirth in towards Dark, trying to get in some jump shots with that Kar98, just trying to be a bit of a nuisance really. But it's Cinda eventually who comes in at 1. Was aggressive at that point, and that was a nice play. Was on his own though, so it was definitely a risky play. If he got dropped suddenly, it could have been a 2-on-3, but it works out. At this point, the bomb should finally get planted. Still taking their time though. They don't know where, of course, KosJ is at the moment.
Shot by Rebirth. They have the idea. They know that that was just a distraction play. Nice shot by Kostya. Always been the SMG expert. And when Reflexer dropped, Kar98 on Rebirth lands a headshot onto Cinda, but Replan pulls it back. He hears Rebirth steps. He knows where he is. Took down behind the wall. Rebirth hasn't got a damn clue. He could be absolutely anywhere, but he finds the shot on the Kar98, and with that, he teabags his opponent to death. Gets the defuse. And a 10th round, Sector 1 are ahead. Endpoint so far undefeated in this tournament, but that looks like it may be coming to an end. They might just lose their first map.
Yeah, even then, that's not the fee. They'll still have to, of course, take their map over on that Sector 1 side, but as you said, they're yet to actually lose a map. So if you can be the first team to do that, that's going to put a lot of confidence in yourself. And, of course, Endpoint. We said they're good at coming back from the disadvantageous positions, but we don't really see them a lot of the time having to actually come back into a series from behind. Normally, it's just in a map where they'll have a little bit of a rough start early on. Here we go, 6-10. Double digits already for Sector 1. They are looking spectacular so far. And it's been Rebirth, Robert, KosJ, Blues. They're all stepping up when it's needed. Although, as I say, that KosJ trying to creep forward through the smoke ends up getting dropped by Cinda. So man advantage has been found. Robert, though, pushing in through connector. May be able to find a little bit here. Needs to be cautious, though, because there is 2 players that could work off of each other. I believe there's also aggression coming in through mid. So right now, it's just a very, very forward round from Sector 1, and it's not really working out. Dins is the only one so far to actually get a frag on the board for them.
At least Rebirth manages one with the Kar98, but access given over towards the bomb site. They're going to be able to drop that down. Dins gets aggressive. They can see him, though. It comes up on the radar when he shoots, and they just spam on through the smoke to do a lot of damage. Haven't yet committed towards planting the bomb. As Mark drops another smoke, it's going to be attempt number 2. Rebirth not in a better position to help deny that, so it's all going to be on Dins if they want to stop that, or they can play post when there's no smokes left. Here we go. It's being planted as we speak. Rebirth tries to get aggressive, but he's spotted out and pushed back from the angle. Din's waiting for these smokes to fade as the bomb is eventually planted on the 4th attempt. Dins is offered a 1 versus 1. Lands quite a bit of damage, goes out for more, but not able to hunt it down before the health is regen. Now a bit of an issue. He's out in the open and spotted. They knew exactly where he was and just holding the angle. Rebirth was hoping that maybe they'd swing out wide to try and find the frag and he could take him with the Kar98, but it's not happening, and as he comes around, a 1v3 on offer for him. It's certainly not an easy offer to claim. You got to click through a lot of links before you get there. But Rebirth going to start it out by looking for a click with the Kar98, missing it down to the Thompson, and this time it's a save.
Yeah, he's at least cautious of the fact that they may try and hunt them down, so he's going to be holding this angle. Takes off a quick shot as well, this time also not connecting, so will indeed be forced to kind of back away over towards the bomb site. The issue is Replan had already rotated all the way around. He'll hear the footsteps right now making their way in towards Cinema. Will Rebirth be able to survive? He should if he just doesn't try and actually take the fight. Replan getting so close, checks around the, I guess, kind of newsstand in the middle instead. Did he go down there in the end?
Nope.
Yeah, I actually couldn't tell if he got the kill last second or not, so did end up surviving, thankfully, for Rebirth.
Last millisecond.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a bullet on its way to kill Rebirth. And a knife against his face. That's
what I wasn't sure. That's why I wasn't sure if he died,
yeah,
because the knife, it came, you could see it
going
to his face from his perspective, so I wasn't sure. But yeah, I mean, 10-7, Endpoint do get themselves another round, but they need to keep this up consistently now. Cannot afford to let too much more go. Fake creeping over towards the broken house, catches the back of Blues with apparently no idea that he could be getting pushed. I mean, he should know the timing about how quick the allies can actually make it towards the house.
Yeah, he thought he had a little bit more time to play with than he really did.
Maybe the nades didn't slow them down as they thought they would have.
Well, that's it, right? They obviously assumed they'd be at least cautious of nades, but no chance. But they knew at that point Sector 1 had such a low economy that nades wouldn't be a huge issue for them in this round. Just look at that confidence. Smoke goes down, they run out and just get the bomb plant behind the truck, or behind the car rather. Fake takes down Dins, Rebirth lit to 1 HP, can't afford to re-peek. And Sector 1 at the moment, I mean, they are locked out of this bomb site. Still 2 smokes left for Endpoint as well, so they can isolate the angles as they please. I don't really know what you do if you're Sector 1 right now. You got to just hope you get a lucky peek, and if not, I would even recommend conceding the round. You've got a Car 98K and a Garand to play with. Those are very valuable weapons for the next round. Robert finds one. Oh my god, Cinda! He's got 1 HP, making them eat our words earlier on. The easy cat kid that he told us. It's coming through. I mean, what's Robert going to do? It's a 1v3, an ace clutch needed. Not a chance. Time is too low. But they've lost that Car 98K, the most precious part of their defense is gone.
Now, Robert had a spectacular 1 versus 3 just a while ago, but with the time, of course, having been so low, there wasn't really much you could ask of him in this situation. Catches Fake, at least trying to push out. So a little bit of extra damage being connected, forcing in a bit of extra reinvestment as well in this following round. But Endpoint, slowly but surely, they are actually beginning to pull their way back into this game once again. A slow start on the first half they were able to recover from until it came down to the last year onto the first half. Similar here on the second half so far. Hopefully, for their own sake, they'll be able to keep it up. You can see the buy, of course, it is very strong over on the Endpoint side, especially when you compare it to that of the Sector 1 side. Only a couple of Gavars, 3 MP40s, and in terms of the actual utility, right now only 3 smokes remain, and 1 of them even being used.
Endpoint not giving up just yet. They're looking towards the B site. This time kept back by smokes. They can take their early peeks with their SMGs to find the fragments. The red plant falls. Reflexor finds a trade. It's a good start for them. Well, lots more work to be done. Endpoint still have 3 smokes. The ability to completely lock out this site. As Din's pushing up through middle, lands himself 1. He's got support there as well, but the kills keep going their way on the Endpoint side. Blues on the side has a lot of work to do, and he's taken down by the Garand. Not able to make it work with the MP40, leaving it into a 1 versus 2. Din's already known to be around tank. He's not going to be able to catch them off guard. This is going to be an easy bomb plant for Endpoint. You would imagine they go out for the fight. I don't like this. Cinda had the bomb. If he fell there, the round could definitely go to Dins. And he's still not able to get to the side all too easily. They're looking for the kill. Oh, long range. Dins takes it on the MP40. What are they doing? They're giving him every opportunity to win this. Now the bomb plant's so much riskier because Dins can push you down. He's just baiting him out, biding his time to rotate from Cinda over towards the A site. If he gets that bomb plant with a Car 98K to play with, I don't know what Dins is going to be able to do to get back in there. Dins' best chance is to play this fast, but at the end of the day, Cinda could be hiding around any corner waiting for him.
Yeah, should be aware of the fact now in just a second, of course, that is not the case as the bomb goes down. Has, of course, heard the footsteps as well going out towards Graveyard, but he doesn't expect that Cinda will just continue to stick around actually facing. I guess was imagining that instead he'd be playing a little bit more passively just to try and work off the time. But when there's so much time on the bomb, I mean, there's nothing wrong with actually trying to take that fight right there, because trying to run down 40 plus seconds rather, is not an easy task. A nice try from Dins, to be fair, but...
I think he might have been too far away to hear the steps, and based on the fact that Cinda, we've seen him again and again play in that back room of B, that he was just running into blitz check that off the bat.
I really did think he heard it, because he was even looking towards the area where the steps were coming from. I think he was trying to run to the bomb, quickly tap it, and then hold the angle. That's what it looked like to me. But you could be correct as well. Unfortunately, we don't know what's going on inside the minds of these players. Aggression in towards second mid at the moment from the Axis side gets a good bit of info for Sector 1. The only issue is the info also being found on the other side of the map as the smokes go down, or more so, I guess, a lack of info, because that bomb site now has been taken over. But it's going to be very difficult for them to actually get the bomb planted.
Shots by Blues at least pull it back alongside Rebirth, leaving into a 4v3. For Endpoint at the moment, they've got to seek control of somewhere, and evidently looking towards Upper Cinema. Rebirth not finding the kill to Fake. Fake again maintaining Upper Cinema control, this time on the offensive. Car 98K for Cinda. You do not want to give these guys those weapons, as they found themselves a man advantage now. Endpoint, they've got 1 smoke left. It's only Cinda that has it to work with. He's the player with the bomb, can throw it wherever he wants, go out and get that bomb planted. 2 teammates to cover it. They know Upper Cinema's clear, they know Lower Cinema's clear. That gives them plenty of angles to get that bomb planted on.
Yeah, you should be able to plant it pretty easily over on the safe side of the car, I suppose is what you could call it. It will indeed go down, as the remaining players for Sector 1 do at least stick together. Will they look to try and still push in for this one? Hoping, I guess, that there is going to be a bit of a flanker coming around. At the moment, though, no one really attempted that. It's a much safer approach from Endpoint, and that's understandable because they have had a few rounds here where they've given away the advantages. So Endpoint wanted to make sure that they don't make any more mistakes at this point, and indeed, Sector 1 have just decided to go for that save. Understandably, they have a couple MP40s, a Thompson then as well. I mean, it's not a lot they're carrying over. There's a smoke, but they're also not going to be getting too much money coming into this next round, so not a bad idea. I think they are working with a full loss bonus. So having those extra weapons at least allows for them to donate over and ensure that it will be a very strong buy. Though I wasn't really expecting Endpoint be able to pull it back to this point after we had Sector 1 up 10-6, just because they were looking so good. On an individual level, they were coming out on top of all the clutches. Rebirth was playing amazing with the Car 98 as well. Of course, Dins has had his rounds. Kosjay's been doing fairly well. Robert, he started off slow, but then had some massive clutches to bring them to this point. But it seems like they've relied just so much on those clutches to barely scrape some those kind of swing rounds in their favor. And on the other hand, rather, when Endpoint get their economy going, it seems like they are a little bit more... I guess they're in a bit more cruise mode. They're not working as hard for the rounds that they are picking up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess that's it, right? You're not like too stressed about it. You're going to be playing this a little bit more chill, I guess. I mean, Endpoint always play chill. I don't think I've ever seen any of these guys stress at any point in their life. I like that Replan's primary weapon right now is a pistol. He swapped out his secondary. It's good to see. For Reflexor taking out Rebirth, evidently the pistol play hasn't worked out for Replan all too much. Brings it into a 4 versus 4. Lots of SMGs for Sector 1. Those close-range fights could help them if they decide to push through the smoke, but having already gotten aggressive up middle, there's just not enough bodies in the spawn to get aggressive like that. You will have a close-range fight as Fake, holding down in the Broken House, is looking to take Dins out. I think he's got support. There's 2 players here. Yes, indeed, and Fake's not able to take anyone out. That's a bit of an issue. Cinema Control going towards Endpoint with the bomb planted for them as Cinda takes out Kostya. That helps out even more, but the smokes go down, and now they can just tap this bomb. Oh, he's defusing it from on top of the car. That is such a trippy angle. There's no way they expect it. They've got a tag. They think they've killed the diffuser, but they have no idea.
That is great. The second I saw him lie down on top, I wasn't sure if it was actually going to let him defuse or not, but it did.
That's wonderful. You can actually hear the screams of just, nice!
Yeah, the smoke goes down, and just instantly it clicks in his mind, I am going to defuse on top of this car, and they will have no idea.
I also love that a player stood where the bomb is, just went, you know what? I'm going to sacrifice myself for this play. You know they're going to spam the smoke.
I would imagine you didn't scream it as loud as you did, though.
No. That was absolutely phenomenal. 11-10. Sector 1 take the round, and this pushes them so close to at least guaranteeing an OT. Look at this, though. Reflexor beats the nades. He's already going into Cinema. He can take a very aggressive early peek and probably catch Sector 1 off guard. Luckily, there's no players in position to be caught off by it.
Very aggressive by Robert down at tank right now, though. I think he did hear the footsteps making their way over towards B from at least a couple of players, so that should be a good bit of info being found. In towards the garden, or in towards the courtyard right now, rather. Replan does manage to spot one player just as the smoke begins to fade away, calls it over to his teammate, and it's Cinda who comes in with a quick headshot. So with that now, a man advantage for Endpoint will be found. Sector 1, although they found that previous one, they had lost the 4 before. And of course, they need to start picking up these rounds a little bit more consistently. You cannot rely on being able to defuse the bomb in kind of positions like that all the time, of course. Bomb, it is indeed gonna go down. Okay, it actually cancelled the plan for a moment. Eventually they will go ahead and stick it. So a man disadvantage now for Sector 1 coming into this retake. It is not going to be easy. They need Endpoint to give them a bit of an opening into this one, because there's still a smoke and a couple of nades as well.
Every single tick feels like a punch in the side for Sector 1. They've got to go. They've got to make it work. Long-range SMGs, not the way to play it. Fake falls as well. Endpoint losing control of the situation, slipping away. Repline comes out for one, spots another, but the lie down comes through for Kostya. Nade onto him immediately afterwards, though. And as Rebirth picks up one, it's down to a 1v1. He's being spotted and taken down by Cinda. And Endpoint taken to 11-11. They are not letting this map go without a fight. We're close to maybe even an overtime coming through, and this is definitely the hardest Endpoint have had to fight for a game. Their worst win was 13-10 versus London. According to the notes, they lost to the Devs, actually, but I don't
forfeit.
feel like they forfeit?
Yeah, because because of the delays last night.
Yeah,
so they ended up just having to forfeit.
I don't remember seeing that
I think Mark wanted actually a bit of a lie-in this morning, so he was like, we'll forfeit that best of one. I don't think it made a difference because the Devs had lost all their games anyway, so it didn't actually affect any standings at all.
Absolutely.
So they were like, we need a rest. We've been here
Mark
very late.
Mark defined it as he's undefeated right now, so I think we're gonna stick with it more or less.
Ooh, Blue is just about managed to survive. They're actually lined up for Rebirth and almost went down. Alongside him, it would have been the B-bomb site fallen as well. But that still probably is going to be the case because the kills do eventually come in. It's only one return from Kosjay before they lose that bomb site. That's a 4 versus 2. Sector 1, after having a 10-6 lead, it looks like they are about to give up that point here to Endpoint.
It's going to start to feel like deja vu. For Robert walking through the smoke, he catches an angle, has to be spotted, finds a headshot, but going towards the top of the stairs. Reflexor eliminates him immediately. Sector 1 were 3-0 up last time these guys played on Liberation. Then they lost the half 9-3 and the game 13-6. With Endpoint having this massive comeback and Liberation coming up, this is looking pretty bleak for Sector 1 at the moment. They've got to pick up this round. If they don't manage to take it across the line here, I really don't see them finding it on Liberation.
I'm very surprised that they're only calling for the tactical timeout now. They've taken a very long time. One thing I want to point out is, of course, Cinda. Not only is he fragging really well right now, he had a tough day yesterday. Was even saying it himself. You could see he wasn't playing as well as we kind of expected of him. Showing up today, though, that has not been an issue.
Easy Katka, the words of the game, and now
just needed that mental
kills.
reset. That's all he needed.
I tell you, when he looked at me, he looked at me with such confidence and a smile and said, "I'll go on the record. It's going to be easy Katka. You can quote me on that."
Well, he's wrong because this hasn't been easy so far. It's been a very competitive game. One of the closer games I'd say we've had so far.
You have an interview with Mark. You ask him about this game. He's going to say it was easy. They gave them the rounds for free. That's the most annoying thing about playing them. They'll be like,
we felt bad for them.
Yeah, exactly. We wanted you to get a couple rounds. It's like you just can't win unless you win. And that's what Sector 1 are looking for. They need an overtime right now, but they will not be finding this map and probably not the series as Lib doesn't look too good for them. Rebirth opens it up, though. Cinda falling, the heavy fragger for Endpoint at the moment. We've seen everybody in this lineup step it up, though. We know they're capable, and now's the time to prove it. Reflexor more so than most as he comes in with the carbine opening, even spots, Garand rather, even spots another towards Upper Cinema, but not able to follow it through just yet. Mark following it on to Kosjay. This is starting to fall apart. Reflexor's got the weapon for this range as well, and his teammates are swarming in to help out.
Yeah, the only issue is they're beginning to set themselves up now to actually go ahead and split in towards this bomb site. As you said, though, the rotations, they can come true. Robert able to come in behind on Cinema. Takes out Reflexor and Upper. There's no one nearby that could actually trade it. And Rebirth as well having himself this control in lower Cinema. So right now, B is not really looking like an option anymore for that allied side. And they do realize that they're going to instantly run it back over towards A, where it is just Blue, as I believe, that's going to be sitting and waiting. Even then, playing a little bit more passively from outside over in the house, of course, taking a spot in. He does get the information that they've gone ahead and made their way onto this A-bomb site, but he will just have to wait for his teammates. So it's going to come down to this 3 versus 3 retake right now to decide if it's going to be overtime or decide if it's going to be Endpoint taking themselves a 1-0 lead in this best of 3.
Time's a ticking, 30 seconds on the clock. It's Sector 1 that have all the pressure on their shoulders. Nice opening by Mark. He rotates in to help his teammates out, and Fake with a double brings it across the line. It is such a close game. But at the end of the day, a 13